Ohio Sekai, good morning, world.
Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Mike.
And I'm Tyler.
And this is the Bonsai Popcast. I don't even know how many it's been at this point.
I think we're on 7. I think.
Okay, I'm going to take your word for it. But hey, we're here. We're doing the thing. We're doing the jams. Anime, video games, just for you. And probably,
Life.
Yeah, a little bit of that. A little bit of that. So, Tyler, what's up, man?
Oh, just running away from fires.
Oh, yeah? Tell me about what that's like.
It's, listen, I used to live in California where it was like normal. And now I live in Oregon where it's very not normal. Outside my window right now looks like an apocalyptic movie.
I've seen, like, when I went to Oregon, the first thing I saw was fire. The highway was on fire. This was, 4 years ago now?
Something like that, yeah.
2016? Was it? That was a fucking... was it 2016 or 2017?
I think it was I think it was 2016?
Holy shit. Yeah, so...
I think so.
Yeah, the highway was on fire after I got out of PDX. Mm-hmm. And I'd never seen a fire, like, in the wild in my life, Like, out here, I mean, when we were kids, we used to set fires and be upset that they didn't go anywhere. Like, literally, if you go outside with, like, a lighter and try to light something like dead leaves on fire, they won't burn. They'll, like
you gotta be really stupid to start a forest fire that continues and destroys people's homes and livelihood.
Or you got to put a lot of effort into it out here, at least. My point is that things don't like to burn out here because there's lots of this natural resource called water. We have a lot of water. Even the dead leaves are wet, like even the dry grass is wet. Like you're going to have a hard time starting a nice fire in New England.
Right.
But yeah, when I went to the West Coast, I've been to California a bunch of times, but to the Pacific Northwest, first thing I saw was fire. And we saw a lot of fire that weekend, actually.
Yeah, man. This is becoming more and more frequent in the Northwest because most likely climate change is starting to make it more like California, So
yeah,
it's going to become more and more prevalent. But yeah, right now I am prepared to evacuate. However, I am not yet in the, okay, maybe you should evacuate yet, but it's getting real close. Like,
yeah,
I have the map open on my other screen on the computer that I will be refreshing throughout the podcast. That's how close we're getting now.
I'm not super hyped for that. That's going to be a huge, I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I've had to evacuate for a fire once before in San Diego when I lived there with my parents. And that was when I was 15, I want to say. Yeah, it was when I was 15 because we owned 3 cars at the time because my parents were going to give me one of their older cars so they didn't sell it when I turned 16 so I could drive it to school and stuff. And when we had to evacuate, they had me drive even though I couldn't legally drive. And they like sandwiched me between their 2 cars.
Oh.
So that I couldn't hurt anybody else. And then we drove to my grandfather's place with all 3 of them packed with as much stuff as we could bring.
Wow. See, I've had to hide in the basement because of tornadoes. Mm-hmm. Like we don't really get earthquakes out here, though. I don't know. It's really weird because my house shakes a lot, and I don't like. We are technically on a fault line,
right.
But like supposedly we have like 4,000 mini quakes a year or something like that.
Yeah, and you just can't feel them because they're so small.
Right, but I don't know if it's my house. I don't know if it's my exact geological location. I don't know if it's the fact that the highway is like it's like my house, the street, a fucking a retail place that I don't want to mention just in case somebody tries to like geolocate my house and cut my dick off in my sleep, and then the highway. Like a highway, not like a road where you can drive fast, like an actual fucking highway. So I don't know if it's the highway, if it's the trucks or what, but like I'll be just sitting in my office and my top monitor will just start going back and forth. And my neighbors won't be home. You know, I'm on the third floor. What the fuck is shaking my house? I don't know. But yeah, like, you know, we have basement floods. We have basements.
Yeah, like that's something that doesn't really exist on the West Coast. Yeah,
I thought that was weird.
I don't think I've ever met somebody who has a basement.
So weird. What the fuck do you do with all your shit?
We attics, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we have attics too.
Well, stop getting. You don't need so much shit.
I mean, we don't have an attic or a basement in our apartment, but I mean, attics out here, like you don't want to be in an attic. They get so hot because of the humidity and stuff like that.
Nobody wants to be in an attic. That's why you throw shit that you don't need up there.
Oh, dude, but like attics make really cool rooms. You know, with the slanty ceilings and everything like that.
Oh, sure. But I mean, still wouldn't want to live in one. You know?
Yeah. Also, that's where all the ghosts of terrifying old colonials live.
Yeah. So the sky is scary as hell. There is a, you know, orange/yellow filter on every window right now.
Yuck.
And I went outside. I live like 2 minutes from the store, right? Walking. So we went to go to the store to get a couple things that we needed, and walking outside for 2 minutes and your throat starts hurting, even wearing a mask.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's not great right now.
Yeah, dude. Oof.
And like I've dealt with fires in the past, but my girlfriend has never had to deal with a fire before. So this is all sort of like I've been here before. I sort of know what I'm doing. Like I'm not freaking out that much, but for her, it's a completely new and pretty fucking scary experience to be like, that line's getting closer. I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know? So
well, she's a desert lady, isn't she?
Originally Vegas.
Yeah. And then, I mean, wasn't there Arizona as well at some point?
No.
Oh, okay.
She moved from Vegas up to Oregon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because, like, there's really nothing to burn down in the desert.
No, there really isn't.
You ever tried lighting a cactus on fire?
Yeah, you ever tried burning sand?
But yeah, no, we don't. I think the worst thing that we get is besides the tornadoes, which happen sometimes, it's like blizzards. Blizzards can be really fucked up. I remember there was I think it was back in 2012. It was 2012. I was working about 45 minutes from home. Yeah, I was doing a commute at that time, and it was October. It was Halloween. Actually, it was Halloween night, right? So usually in October, it gets cold at night. It gets down to, you know, like 45 degrees. It gets chilly. But that night we had a wicked cold snap, and it also started with rain. So it dropped down to like 2 degrees, and, you know, the rain started turning into freezing rain, and then the rains turned into snow. And I was working overnights. So when I left, there was about 1 inch or 2 of snow on the ground. By the time I got to work, it was about 1.5 feet of snow. Which, I mean, you know, where I'm from, like, we drive with that all the time. 1.5 feet is really nothing. You know, it sucks when the roads aren't plowed, but we're used to it. We're really used to it. But the problem is that none of the leaves had fallen off of the trees yet. So usually we don't get heavy snow and ice until the leaves have fallen, which is part of the reason that fall happens. Because turns out when the leaves freeze and the leaves catch all the snow, it's too heavy for the trees. So
that makes sense.
The trees start coming down, and it was fucked up, dude. Like, when I was on my way into work down across one of the main roads, like it's a highway across Route 9, a tree that probably would have taken 3 people to stretch their arms around was down across the road.
Yikes.
The snow just like knocked it down across the road. So I had to take a detour through the college, UMass. And there were like all these girls out in their fucking underwear, you know, like it was Halloween, dude, like in their bare feet, like drunk ass, like throwing snowballs and shit like that. So I went to work, right? They made us go to work. This was that really shitty job, you know, where if you called out, you're fired. Like, boom, on this.
Fuck every goddamn employer, man.
Mm-hmm. Dude, it was so fucked. So we went in there, and you know, we were riding around in these pallet jacks, right? You know, these machines that are made to lift a couple 1,000 pounds of shit, right? And they weigh like 3,000-4,000 pounds. The solid steel. They go about 10 miles an hour, right? So we're in the warehouse. We've started our you know, work for the night, and then the power goes out in the warehouse. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have ever worked in a fucking warehouse, but there's no windows in a warehouse. So when the power goes out, there is no light.
It's just black.
It's just pitch.
Oh, fuck. That is an emergency alert.
Oh, God, Ty. Do you have to go?
Hold up. Let me click on the link here.
Yeah. Dude, you are hearing this live right now as it's happening.
No shit, it's wildfires. Thanks. Wildfires alert, read more.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, have you refreshed your map?
Yeah, let me refresh the map too.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I was not. I kind of like heard like something that sounded really weird in the background. And I was like, I wonder if that was an alert on my girlfriend's phone. And sure enough, because I just got it right next to me. Because my phone's on mute, and that still comes through. You know?
Yeah. Like we get them all the time for severe thunderstorms.
I think it's for Canby, which is not us yet, but it's fucking getting close.
Okay.
It's getting close, man.
Fucking hell, dude. At least you got that renter's insurance. Fucking
there's a reason that I bought it. There's a reason that I bought it.
Good call on that, man. Good fucking call. Well, I mean, what do? Do we keep going?
Well, okay, so here, give me a second. We can cut out like the dead air.
I mean, there's no I can keep talking while
I mean, that works too. I just want to go check in with my girlfriend and see what she wants to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to go do that.
All right. So beautiful, audience. As I was saying, so we're pitch black in this fucking warehouse. Absolutely pitch black. All of us stop our jacks dead. You know, some people had cell phones on them, even though we weren't supposed to. So we were able to find our way out of the warehouse. And then they kept us there, mandatory, for 4 hours, right? So we're supposed to have backup generators because this is a food warehouse, right? With perishable food. It's all perishable food. Backup generators failed. Now, it's not that bad because it's winter, right? So it's like, you know, what's the worst that's going to happen? The food's going to freeze. You know, it would have been really bad if it was in the summer because all the meat would have rotted. It would have been like an absolute fucking nightmare. But anyway, so me and a bunch of like basically either drug addicts or hardened criminals, because those were the only people who worked that job, sat in the cafeteria under like dim emergency lights for 4 fucking hours while it snowed and snowed and snowed and kept snowing. And
all right, I'm back.
All right, I was just talking about how so like the power went out, but then they made us stay at work for our 4 mandatory hours.
Right. Yeah. You told me about that.
Yeah. So by the time they let us out, there was like 2.5 to 3 feet of snow, and I was in a 97 like Ford Escort, no 4-wheel drive, and there were people who needed rides home because, you know, they were expecting rides in the morning when we were supposed to get out of work. So I ended up having to bring these fucking like junkies home who were like smoking weed in the car the whole time, making me super stressed out and nervous. And, you know, I did eventually make it home, but there was no gas stations. All of them were closed and nobody had power. All the power was out because I think we lost something like 15, you know, like acres of trees. Mm-hmm. Like if you counted them all up, like, I mean, all across Western New England, I mean, 15 acres, probably like, I would say probably like 80,000 trees went down.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Holy
it was
shit.
yeah, like it was like I was on Route 9 headed back to where I was living at the time, and I had crossed police boundaries because I was so desperate to get home because it was cold. We had nowhere to go, like we were running out of gas. So I'm driving down the road. The two dudes that are with me, I have all the windows rolled down. They have their heads out the windows trying to watch for falling trees, and all you can hear around you in the dead silence, right? Because snow acts as a sound canceller. All you can hear is crack, 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 crack. All these fucking trees cracking and breaking, and like fucking branches falling off, dude. Fucking nuts.
Yikes,
terrifying.
man.
Trees were falling in front of me, behind me. It was nuts. But anyway, what did Amy say?
So yeah, I didn't know, like I didn't know which city it was because I hadn't heard of that city before. It's a city that's like 15 miles away from us, so it's not us, but it's getting close.
Yeah, it sounds like that emergency is coming.
Yeah, so I already have a bag packed with just like some clothes for a few days and stuff like that. I already talked to my parents last night that this might happen, and they said worst comes to worst, just fly down to San Diego.
How the fuck are you gonna fly down to San Diego?
What do you mean? With a plane?
How are you going to get to a plane? Isn't everything on fire?
The city's not on fire.
Oh.
Everything around the city is on fire.
But then, doesn't the city burn?
So, the fire sign next to it is like fire support. There's a fire up above it in Vancouver, and then that giant area that's red below it, that's where the real fire is. And then that little dot in the green that's sort of in the upper left of the green, that's me.
Right.
So going up to Portland is totally fine. So yeah, it's getting real close. We don't have to do anything just yet. I already packed a bag with like some clothes and stuff last night and already talked to my parents about possibly having to go. But basically my plan is if we get into that zone where it's like be ready to leave at a moment's notice, we're just going because we don't have a car.
Right.
So we can't leave at a moment's notice. We have to leave earlier than that.
Right.
So we will go, we'll grab, public transit, either a bus or we'll grab the Max line up into Portland. And there's either a hostel that we could stay at for like a day or two that's like $50 a night, something like that for a private room that I would grab and basically watch and see. And then if it keeps coming, then I'd call my parents and say, hey, we're coming down. That's kind of my plan for right now.
Yeah. Dude, bring your PC with you and then say it burned in the fire.
I don't know how I can bring my PC with me is the problem.
Carry it.
It's big, you know?
I mean, mine is too. Mine's like 50 pounds. Carry it.
Yeah, honestly, like I might.
Yeah, because I mean, those are probably the most expensive things you have in your house.
Definitely, yeah.
And then if you say they burned, you get that money.
Yeah, but
back.
now there's recordings of it.
I'll just fucking delete where I say.
Just cut this part out.
Yeah, I'll just delete where I say burned, right? Which and then nobody can. That's not a thing. Just say right now, I'm not bringing my computer with me.
I am not bringing my computer with me if we have to evacuate.
And you are going to leave it, and it is going to burn.
Yes.
And in that case, you will rightfully and justfully collect your insurance money.
Yes.
All right, Tyler. Well, the world's been on fire since 2020 started, and now it's literally on fire. Well, how was your anime week?
Thank you for waking me up.
Dude, I was about to say I didn't have one. That's not completely true. Okay. I've been watching the fuck out of Soul Eater I'm getting ready for October, basically, where we want to cover a bunch of more of the spoopy anime. And not that Soul Eater is spoopy, but it is very Halloween-y.
Yes, I love Halloween, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good time of year, you know?
I feel like you guys don't get the same experience as we have over on the East Coast.
Well, so here's the thing, right? If I still lived in San Diego, you would be absolutely correct. Nothing changes in San Diego ever. It's a static moment in time, right? In in Oregon, things do change based on season. So like we get a huge change when fall comes that I love. Fall is my favorite season here by far. You know, all the leaves turn in fall, and it gets like this nice brisk breeziness where you can like wear jackets and it's the perfect temperature. I love fall. It's the best. I never sweat in fall. It's amazing. I sweat all the fucking time in summer. I hate it. It's the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably wouldn't like summer out here because it's nice
Yeah,
and dry
probably
out
not.
there. Like whenever I go to the fucking West Coast in summertime, I'm like, wow, this is so nice. It's 110 degrees and it's so nice.
You guys have that humid fucking
Yeah.
bullshit.
It gets 80 degrees out here and you're like, oh, it's
Yeah, because you're just like dripping.
yeah, it's fucking awful. But yeah, like out here, but what I mean is like out here, Halloween is you know, we had witches, we had you know, crazy like priests and you know, religious cults and Satan worship and all that stuff. Like Halloween is very, you know, we have all these like 500-year-old cemeteries and shit. Like New England is, you know, we had hundreds and hundreds of mental asylums. Like New England is very Halloween centric. You know, Christmas too. Like we have like the best Christmases out here because it's snowy and we got all the pine trees and stuff. Like Christmas in New Hampshire, it's like nowhere else, dude. You go to northern New Hampshire and you actually feel like you're like at the North Pole, like where Christmas is supposed to be.
Right. It's very festive just because of the weather and the way that the way that winter happens there.
Yeah, like the best way for me to explain New Hampshire to you would be like northern Washington, but much more dense and mountainy. Like there's not a lot of plains like there is on the drive up to Seattle. But the forests are very, 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 very dense and all pine, like up in Washington. Though Washington used to be a deciduous state until we cut all those trees down.
That sucks. Fall's the best, man. I love fall.
It's great.
I've been really excited for fall, and now I'm worried that I'm not even going to be here to be able to do it because I'm going to have to leave. I think my girlfriend just got another alert text. I think I heard that, so I'll probably get one in another minute too, because mine was about a minute behind hers.
Dude, this is gonna be a fascinating podcast. This is the hard hitting stuff, dude. This is what.
We're gonna be getting real time updates until I fucking am like, okay, I gotta go now.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, so I need to live, so I'm gonna do that, and you can finish up the podcast.
So you've been watching Soul Eater. How you enjoying it?
Yeah. So I've watched it once already, you know, but it was years ago.
Same.
And it's very fun. You know, it's a very fun show to watch. It's super goofy. You know, there's like a cat that uses pumpkin magic and shit.
Yeah.
And it's a little too on the nose sometimes. Like one of the characters' names is Soul Eater and he eats souls. Right. You know, like sometimes you're like, okay, could you have been a little less obvious with certain things? But all in all, it's just very fun to watch. You know, I'm really enjoying it. And there's definitely still a good amount of stuff to talk about, especially if you get into like Krona's story and like the trauma that he went through and like trying to deal with getting back to a balance between him and his weapon, stuff like that. And also Death the Kid is just an amazing character.
Oh yeah, he is. He's the OCD one, right?
Yeah, he's the OCD one that's like, symmetry. It has to all be about symmetry. 8 is the best number. It can't be 7. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, he's got the 2 girls, right, that are like guns.
Yeah, he has dual guns and he gets mad because they're not the same height and they don't have the same breast size.
Yeah, I remember really liking Soul Eater. I feel like it's like a very good entry level anime.
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect to get people in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's also a very anime as well. It's got the animes.
Yeah. If you have a checklist of what makes anime, Soul Eater hits all of them.
There you go. That should be the first line in the script.
Okay, I'm down. I already have like 3 first lines for the script, but I'm down for that one too.
Yeah, I've started a new thing where so I have this like little Bluetooth keyboard for my iPad, and while I've been watching anime, I've just been like taking notes as I've
That's
been
smart.
going. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of the best way to really hit some like visceral stuff in the shows, you know, not to like, because you know when you watch something as a whole versus piece by piece, you start looking at it as a whole and missing smaller moments.
Right.
So it's important to remember those. But
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's one of the good things that we do a lot, or at least a decent amount, is like we'll zoom in on a particular moment in an anime and talk about how that made you feel or us feel. And I think that not only gets personal, but it hits more close to home than just talking about the show as a whole.
yeah,
You know?
and that is one of my favorite things too. But I feel like for every moment we hit, we miss 30. So I want to make sure that we're not missing things and just like elevate the content.
Yeah, I totally hear you. I actually did that in the Mushishi script that I've been having trouble with.
Oh, nice.
Just in, if you remember episode 2 of that anime where it's the girl that basically can't be in sunlight because it hurts her eyes.
Was it because of the little like fishy things in the shell, like the little shellfish? No, those are the ones that
like,
stole her voice.
Yeah, she literally lives in a shed, and she has her eyes bandaged, and it's completely dark in the shed. And the little boy from the family that is feeding her and taking care of her goes in and changes her bandages and brings her food and stuff like that. Because she just can't be in sunlight or it causes her excruciating pain.
Right.
And then the boy ends up getting the same illness, and doctors haven't been able to fix it. And then Ginkgo shows up and saves the boy, but he can't save the girl perfectly. And he brings her out at night when the moon is out, and she opens her eyes and like this metallic goo starts oozing out of her eyelids and towards the moon, and then just comes out in this crazy flow. And then Ginkgo like catches the centipede in the middle of it and then replaces one of her eyes with his glass eye. Does any of that sound familiar? It's like
I vaguely remember it. I remember the centipede specifically because of the centipedes in Sekiro being like a symbol of corruption and shit.
Yeah, I'll have to have you watch it again, because there's an entire section that I wrote about just that moment being in the second episode, and it is like the perfect depiction of like, oh fuck, this show gets kind of metal sometimes, and this is hardcore, and like for a show that's like so atmospheric, it gets super eerie and creepy, but it's also like fascinating to watch. You know?
Yeah, it's like eerie and creepy in a way that doesn't necessarily scare you. Like there's a suspenseful atmosphere to it.
Yeah, and they have this particular like music tone that they play whenever these scenes are happening, where it's like this like ding dong sort of sound effect.
Yeah,
it's like do 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 do, and it just sets the tone so perfectly. I wrote about all this stuff, and I think it's gonna work out really well with Bo and everything. But yeah, that's like one of those moments that I'm talking about zooming in on a particular moment and like how it made me feel, and then I'll have you watch it again so that you can feel it too, and then maybe change things up if you had a different interpretation of it.
Yeah, man, I'm totally down. That sounds fucking awesome. So have you been checking anything else out except for Soul Eater and Mushishi, or?
I haven't, like, again, I watched fucking SAO, and I have nothing to say about it. Yeah, like in the last episode, you know how I was like before in last week's episode,
You're freaking out about the rules being broken.
Yeah, I was freaking out about the rules being broken. I was like, and now they're stuck in the world for 200 years, right? Mm-hmm. The next episode does not have Kirito or Asuna in it at all.
Oh,
so I have nothing to say.
It's like
it wasn't filler. It's just what's happening in the real world while they're stuck in the virtual world,
right?
And I just don't care.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Exactly, nobody cares, and that was the entire episode. So whatever, you know.
Waste of your life.
Yeah. And then I haven't seen ReZero yet because I honestly forgot about it.
I haven't watched it either. Devin pulled a muscle in her upper back, so she's been laying down and watching Nurse Jackie for the past 2 days.
Okay.
Dude, Nurse Jackie is it's actually a good show. It's about this nurse who's addicted to painkillers.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, like the first line in the show is like, what do you call a nurse with a bad back? Unemployed. So, like, anyway.
Just gets right into it, huh?
Yeah, it's like a 2009 show. It was on Stars originally. Netflix acquired the rights to it, so she's just been binging through that really hard. And I've been doing the massages and the, getting her water when she needs it and stuff like that. Dude, fucking back shit sucks.
Oh, back shit's the worst, dude.
Yeah. It sucks too because like we had just started exercising and doing yoga again, and like now she can't, because you can't. Like if you hurt your back, you can only stretch it a little bit. Like you cannot.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's stupid.
I've fucked with back injuries in my day, and they all suck.
yeah. I particularly dislike lower back pain.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
which seems to be the only type of back injury that I've ever gotten.
Yeah, same. Well, I've had like shoulder issues before. They can be really annoying, especially when it comes to sleeping. But I don't know. I mean, my family has a history of really bad backs and shoulders and shit like that. My mom slipped a disc putting a sock on one time when I think I was 7. I had like just woken up from school, and all of a sudden I hear my mom screaming bloody fucking murder, and she's like naked from the waist down with one sock on, like just like strapped to the bed because my grandmother had come. We were living with her parents at the time. Yeah, that was an interesting morning, but
yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, so damn, that's been your anime week though, huh?
That's been it, man. Yeah, I kind of
shit
like
going on,
Yeah, there's
fires.
been shit going on. Yeah, there's fires happening.
We watched Dark Cat together with the patrons, and that was fucking amazing.
That was so much fun.
Yeah,
don't believe the IMDb.
Yeah, Dark Cat is it's like an OVA, I think, of. Definitely a manga that existed at some point. Basically, one of our patrons, Westbourne Eastbred or Eastbourne Westbred. I never remember. Yeah, I never remember which one comes first. And either way, we love this guy. And they sent us this thing, and they were like, "Dude, I don't know what the fuck I just watched, but you guys got to check it out." And we saw tentacles. And I was just like, well, this is what we're doing for our viewing party this week. So we watched it, and we watched it dubbed, right? Because it has which
was the best decision we could have made.
It has a notorious dub. And holy shit, was it the best dub I have ever heard in my life.
It was so good, bad.
Was amazing.
Oh god, the one character, there's one like depressed character in the dub.
He's the lead. He's like the lead male character other than the cat guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't do it nearly as well as Mike, but Mike, if you could do an imitation.
Yeah. Yeah. So girl comes over his house, and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just not feeling too well today. Yeah, I'm sorry."
It was just like that.
She's like, "All right, I'm going to turn on the light." And he's like, "Don't do it." It's like, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I just don't feel that good today." And that is his voice the entire fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like, it never changes. And it's that bad. I'm sure that people are like, "Oh, well, he's doing an imitation of the voice." No, it is actually
that bad. If anybody has seen, there's a video online that has that's pretty old, but it's called The Depressed Whale.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's one of the older videos on YouTube that it kind of had to grow up with YouTube. But you can search a depressed whale. It's the whale's voice in a depressed whale, but worse.
The dub was so this movie is clearly old. It's got to be early 90s, late 80s.
Yeah, I think it was 19 No, 1983 is Golgo 13, which is what we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or maybe what you're doing tomorrow. We'll see.
Oh yeah. You might want to upload that to Drive.
It's on Prime.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm excited to watch that because Tiger Lab Vinyl put out a fucking soundtrack for it, so I want to see if I want that soundtrack.
Right.
But anyway, we'll talk about vinyl later too. So yeah, this film, I can't really even explain to you what it was about. There are these two men who are called Dark Cats. They belong to some kind of legion of beings called Dark Cats, and they can transform into cats. And
or they're cats that can transform into people. I'm not sure what their true form is.
Yeah, I don't know, because the main villain was a dark cat as well.
Right.
And he was a big cat. He was like a big tiger with like a bald patch on his head. I'm sure it's some kind of yokai reference. I know kappas have heads like that as well. It was very strange. And then there's this girl and this boy, and the girl loves the boy, but the boy, I don't know, got like dumped by some other girl, or like, I don't fucking know. Either way, there's an evil at their school, and these dark cats are there to investigate the evil, which turns out to be another dark cat. But the evil basically takes the form of like, I don't know, like penis tentacles with like centipede legs. It's very strange.
It's super weird.
And the dub was done in 2003, and it sounds like it was done by a bunch of like, you know, when a YouTuber makes an animation and they're like, hey, who wants to voice characters in my animation?
Right. And it's just like their friends that like they happen to know because they met them at cons or whatever, you know? Like,
or just random people they like had in a Discord server, you know, and there's no consistency to the sound profile. There's no fucking mixing. Like, you know, somebody is like ridiculously loud. Somebody talking on the right is coming out of the left channel. Like it's just so badly done. It's flawlessly awful. And
yeah, that's a great way to put it, dude.
And like, the dialogue is so bad. Like, these bullies are like picking on the depressed kid, and he's like, hey man, can you stop like picking on me and, you know, make me feel bad? And they're like, oh, they got these like New York, I'm walking here kind of accent. They're like, oh, look at this faggot right here. They actually,
that is a line from the show. Like Mike is quoting right now.
They actually called him a faggot. Like, it's just like, oh my god, dude, how the times have changed. And it was funny because it was like such an accurate representation of high school.
Yeah, from back in the day.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Early 2000s high school, absolutely. And then there's like this other moment that was one of my favorite. So one of the dark cats is like living with this girl who he's trying to protect. I don't know, he likes her because she's a good cat owner or some fucking shit. Anyway, he like turns into his human form to protect her from something. Like a teacher, right? I don't know if the teacher is like grabbing her boobs or no. The teacher has her like teacher assume the position.
The teacher had her like assume a very doggy style-esque position.
Yeah.
Oh no! Something fell on the ground, and I think the teacher was going to make her lick it off the ground.
Something like that. I don't know.
Something like that. Obviously, the plot wasn't that important.
No, it was really dumb. But anyway, so this guy turns into a human. He jumps out of the thing, and you know, basically intervenes in the situation. And the teacher's like, "What's your name? I've never seen you in the student records before. Like, meet me in my office." Blah blah blah. She walks away, and there's like this moment of silence, and then the cat's like, "What a bitch!" What a bitch. I don't know.
It was so funny.
And then the girl talks.
What a bitch.
The girl talks, and he's like, "What a bitchy teacher." Like something like he like follows it up by like doubling down on how much of a bitch that teacher was. It's perfect.
Flawless fucking writing for that section.
If you have somebody to watch Dark Cat with, I highly recommend watching Dark Cat with people with a good sense of humor that have an appreciation for good bad things. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's free for you, so go check it out. It's
Yeah,
fucking
you
awesome.
need somebody who likes watching shitty things to watch it with.
Yeah, like, have some drinks, fucking, joke, laugh. It's,
Yeah, have a viewing party yourself, like in a Discord or something, and stream it because it's fucking great.
Yeah, don't sit in your home theater in your khakis and your suit jacket and bow tie with your like circle
Pipe.
glasses and a notepad for you to take notes on this piece of cinema. Like, no, it's not. That's not what you're watching.
Or do that and get back to us on what you found.
Yeah, this is not Bridge Over River Kwai. This is Dark Cat. In my anime week, let's see. I've been watching a bunch of anime. To tell you the
Good for
truth,
you, man.
Uzaki-chan. I watched 2 episodes of Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out.
Okay.
Do you know anything about that?
Not
their
a damn
anime?
thing.
Okay, so here is the premise. This big ass, like this big titty anime girl who is kind of, a prankster, notices that one of her senpais at school is a loner type. So she decides that she's going to be his friend and hang out with him whether he wants to or not.
Okay.
Yep. And hijinks ensue. And that's basically it. And a lot of the jokes are about her not realizing that she has giant fucking tits. But it's not an ecchi.
Okay.
So
It's just shenanigans
with a mild tint of sexual humor, and then there's romance. Obviously, like they eventually seem to fall in love with each other. I haven't, like I said, I've seen 2 episodes.
It's
pretty obvious.
I get you.
It's pretty obvious what's gonna happen. Cute show, whatever. Like it's something. A lot of people are watching it. A lot of people really like it. I think the manga did well. It's considered a comedy slice of life. It's if that is your steez, this is probably the best thing that's out there right now. So, and Uzaki is very cute, and she has giant. I'm just gonna send you a picture because she has
go for it, man.
Fucking giant hoots, hooty hoots, dude. She's got the Sugoyo.
Maybe she can help put out the fires with them.
Dude, she definitely could. She's got fucking mammoth mammorai. That's Latin for giant tits.
Yep.
There you go. That's Uzaki-chan.
Oh wow, those are.
And that's not even exaggerated. That's what she looks like in the show.
No, I believe it.
And what else have I been watching? Peter Grill. Now this one.
What is that?
Is awesome. So Peter Grill is the full title is Peter Grill in the Philosopher's Time.
You know what? I haven't seen it, but I've heard of that.
Yes. So it's basically this guy, he becomes the world's strongest fighter in order to impress the father of the woman he loves. And after he becomes the strongest fighter, he therefore becomes the most desirable man on the planet. Because it's like a fantasy, right? So
That's how it works.
Yeah, you got demons and onis and all sorts of like monster girls and stuff like that, and they all want his jizz. And that's
so it's like Irotsukidoji, but not.
It's like a Rotsukidoji, but like they actually are after his jizz for real. Like it's not like even like played up, as like like maybe no, it's like people are like, give me your fucking jizz, dude. Like give me that jizz. We will make the strongest babies. And his love gets captured, and on the same night he ends up being completely seduced by 2 ogres. And they're like 12-minute episodes. I watched a couple episodes. It's very fucking funny. This is him in the morning when he wakes up. I'll show you. He's very disappointed in himself, laying next to these 2 ogre ladies. Yeah. Yeah.
he just has like that far off stare, like like he just realized how badly he has to shit.
Yep.
And he's in bed with two ladies.
Well, he's been after this girl, like this one girl, his whole life, and he got completely seduced by these two ladies. So he made a mistake, and hijinks ensue from there. It's very fucking funny. My only problem is that it's censored right now. You can watch it on High Dive, which is like if you're ever watching an ecchi.
I was about to ask if High Dive had it uncensored.
No, they don't. Because it is being simulcast right now, but they have it less censored. So if you watch it,
and eventually uncensored, I assume.
Right, and I'm sure just like Interspecies Reviewers' best show of 2020, I'm sure that you can find it uncensored if you are willing to look. In fact, I did find a couple episodes uncensored on YouTube, but they're missing uncensored episodes. Also, how the fuck is that shit up on YouTube? Anyway, it's definitely worth checking out. It's definitely worth checking out. And High Dive has it less censored. So Crunchyroll has huge light streaks. High Dive has small light streaks. So
I'll take a look at that. That sounds interesting.
You'll love it. It's a very quick watch. What else have I checked out? I'm still watching March Comes In Like a Lion. I've really fallen in love with that show. I like it quite a bit.
That's great.
Finished Dragon Ball Z, the manga.
The manga? Nice.
Yep. So I've read all of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. It's I really liked the manga.
Yeah, I mean, you said that if you were to recommend it to somebody, you would recommend the manga over the show.
Yeah, or for a second time through, definitely the manga over the show, because again, the manga skips all of the bullshit, but also the manga never really loses the magic that the show loses after Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was whimsy and kind of magical and stuff like that, and Dragon Ball Z, it's like in the show when Frieza was kind of the ultimate bad guy, right? Like,
right.
If you were to think about the way that the show should have gone, they probably should have killed Frieza, gone back to Earth, and everything was fine. Goku becomes a Super Saiyan. He's now the strongest being in the universe because he killed Frieza, who is the strongest being in the universe. Earth is safe. Everything's good. Story's over, right? That would have been a perfect ending to a very good story. But they kept going, and part of me thinks...
but this is a shonen.
Yeah, exactly. Part of me thinks that Akira Toriyama wanted to end it somewhere after Frieza. At that point, Dragon Ball had been going on for 10 years, or however long. It had been a long time. But then...
Not as long as it is now.
That's true. Well, Akira Toriyama is like doing the story for Dragon Ball Super. He's not writing the manga.
Right.
And the manga came after the show. So it's a lot less work for him.
Right. Well, at this point, he's like the George R.R. Martin of anime,
I would say more like, like George Lucas, like he defined.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he defined.
He defined it, but he doesn't even have to do anything anymore. People are just like, hey, can we use Goku?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, yeah, fucking sure, just give me a cut.
Yeah, he's been like, I've been done with Goku for like fucking 20, 30 years now. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's like, I'm doing Dragon Ball, or I'm doing Dragon Quest now.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's also been doing Dragon Quest for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So, it's like he was doing Dragon Quest back in Dragon Quest 1, dude. I gotta.
That's awesome.
You gotta buy that book, man. That fucking book is dope. Like all the Dragon Quest art.
Well, I'm gonna make sure that my home is still around first before I go out buying anything.
That's true. So when the show gets to Cell and Boo and all of that stuff, for me it became disjointed, right? Because when Dragon Ball Z started, there's a lot of emphasis on Gohan. And this is kind of like, I wrote the story you never knew on Gohan back when we were still working with Tree School. And Gohan to me I never liked him as much as everybody else did. Like when Dragon Ball Z really hit big, people were all about the fucking Cell Saga, dude, because that was like one of the first like new Dragon Ball Z series to come to Toonami, like one of the new arcs. And Gohan is really badass in that. That's when he becomes Super Saiyan 2 and takes out Cell. He becomes the strongest being in the universe.
Right. He basically takes the place of Goku at the end of it. He's the next in line, so to speak.
He's supposed, like, it would make sense that he would, right? Like, that's what they're setting it up for. And Goku's dead for good. You know, he's been wished back too many times. He can't come back to life. And then, you know, it fast forwards the 7 years. Gohan's an adult. You know, we're expecting this thing. And then, you know, this long, drawn out fucking
and then you get
saga.
Like, what is it, Saiyan Man and all that bullshit? God, I fucking hated Saiyan Man.
I mean, that's just like, that's like a mildly goofy thing that happens in the manga for like a couple chapters, and then it's just like, you know, over. So it wasn't a big deal. But you know, they bring Goku back, and Goku ends up saving the entire world again, and Gohan is basically fucking useless.
Yeah, he becomes instead he becomes heir to Krillin's fucking fame.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's very strange. So I feel like in the manga, like the Buu series wasn't that long and drawn out. Goku coming back to life felt like it made a lot more sense. I mean, the fact that Gohan didn't save the world and become the next Goku still is a little weird, but like Dragon Ball is the story of Goku. And I think that was Akira Toriyama's choice at the end, was to stick with it being about Goku. And, but yeah, like the Buu saga in the manga.
Maybe he also didn't like Gohan. Maybe he like had this idea in his head, and then when he got to the end, he's like, fuck, but now I gotta write Gohan all the time. Like, maybe that was what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Well, I mean, think about it this way, right? It's like, maybe he didn't even want to have Gohan in there, because he is writing for Shonen Jump, which is technically a boys magazine. Right. So it's possible that he felt like he needed to, or was pressured by editors to keep a child in the manga in order to keep the young readers engaged, you know, give them somebody to latch onto while Goku matures.
Yeah. And I mean, this is all speculation. Like, who knows?
Yeah. But I mean, that would be my guess.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense for sure. Yeah. You know, but who knows? You know, I don't know.
But yeah. So in the manga, the Buu series reads a lot more like Dragon Ball did. It was goofy. It was kind of wacky. It was really cool. Cell was intense. Frieza was intense. Buu was fun. And I felt like that was very interesting, because Buu was awful in the anime. It was terrible. But like, so, and the other thing is that the English translation of Majin Buu is very strange, because in the manga, he's a Jin. He's a fucking genie.
Right.
Doesn't that make so much more sense?
Yes.
He's like, I never put two and two together. I was never like, oh, he's a fucking genie, you know? And like, there you got Bibbidi Bobbidi and Boo, and you know, in the manga it's spelled Boo, not Buu. Like, I don't know why they changed all that for the anime, but like, it's, I don't know. It was very good. So now I'm reading Naruto.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm caught up on One Piece. I finished Dragon Ball, and now it's time to read Naruto. I've been reading it. I'm like 8.5, 9 volumes in, and it is pretty fantastic, believe it or not.
Dude, look at you getting through all these shonen, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're going to do Naruto in November, so I didn't want to have to watch it all for a third time.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. It's pronounced Shonember.
Shonember, exactly. But, the manga's great, man. And the mangaka, I can't remember his name right now, but the mangaka is really fucking fantastic. It's who's the author of Naruto? That's Masashi Kishimoto. He is a really interesting guy. And one of the things that I really like about him is that at the end of the chapters, he writes a little bit about himself. You know, and he was talking about how, you know, he loved Dragon Ball when he was a kid, how he discovered Dragon Quest. Like, one of his favorite memories is like, he's a twin. I guess he was like
Oh,
born
really?
premature. Yeah, and him and his little twin brother, like basically like begged, borrowed, and stole until they got a Famicom from one of their friends, and then their dad, who was never into video games, finally caved and bought them Dragon Quest 1, and they wanted it because Akira Toriyama did all the artwork for it.
Right.
And then he said for himself, Dragon Quest was like a fleeting fancy. He loved it, and then he let it go. And he's like, I just called my dad, which I don't do very often anymore, and he had just beaten Dragon Quest 7, so my dad's still playing it. So it's interesting stuff. He highlights his assistants, which is really cool. He talks about people behind the scenes, and the art on Naruto so far is really good, man. Like, I'm getting to the point where I've read enough manga where I can like tell when something
you can really tell. Yeah.
Naruto's art is really substantial. The action is not only better choreographed than Dragon Ball, but also much more visceral. And Naruto is pretty badass, dude. Like, there's some fucking moments in that. I mean, the show has blood in it and a little bit of gore and
But it's not the same.
It's not the same. Like the manga definitely. I just got past the point where one of the hidden in the sound ninjas got his arm blown off, and it like actually shows the arm getting blown off. And the reason his arm blew off is because he shoots these bursts of sound waves out of his arm. But one of the ninjas from the Hidden Leaf Village had plugged the hole in his hand with bugs that live inside this guy, right? So that's his power.
That's fucking gross.
When his clan members are babies, they're given to these bugs that eat like human energy. That's called chakra in Naruto. So these bugs bury in and infest their babies, and then become kind of part of the kids as they grow up, and the kids use them and can control them at will. To it, like as weapons, as
wow, man, I hate everything about that.
But it's really cool though, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's that's imaginative shit. Yeah,
but I fucking hate it.
Oh, I hate it too. Yeah, but it's really cool. So, I've watched through Naruto twice, Naruto and Shippuden twice. And reading it again is it's a no bullshit experience. The characters are introduced in very different ways, which I like a lot more than in the show. Kind of. I'm interested to see where they go with it, but in the show, because there's so much filler, you get to spend a lot more time with all the characters than you do in the manga, but it's interesting in the manga to see them come in the way that they do and the way that you learn about them the way that they do. And I think it's better done in the manga. So it's definitely worth a read. Like, if you love an anime, especially a shonen, I highly recommend going out and buying the manga. The industry could use your help, and it's a way to enjoy something that you already like in its pure original distilled form, without any bullshit or any TV executives changing things. Like Bulma's hair is fucking purple. Okay, like like some TV exec was like, "Nah, we're gonna make it blue," but Bulma's hair is purple. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. So
it is weird. Yeah, and also, you know what they always say, man? The book's always better than the movie.
Yeah, unless it's Vampire Hunter D.
Right.
Not that the books aren't good, because the books are really good, but goddamn, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust is a fucking good movie, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's always exceptions, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So let's take a quick second to do something that we do in every single podcast. I want to talk to you guys about Patreon. Most importantly, we want to announce that we have opened up new high tiers. This was something that we were asked to do. I recommend checking them out. But one of the tiers,
a lot. We didn't do it for a long time.
Yeah, we didn't do it for over a year, almost 2. So one of our tiers is you can come and listen to our podcasts live as we record them. And earlier this week, we had people listening in on the Super Saiyan 3 podcast, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then we have some meme tiers for you guys. We got Bath Boys, which will be going live soon. So for $500 a month, you can get a bottle of our bathwater. That's right. For $1,000 a month, we will go to Japan and take a bath in Japan and send you a clear sake bottle with our bathwater and nice, pretty sakura petals in it straight from Japan.
It's going to be mixed bathwater.
Yeah, exactly.
or we can take a bath together.
That's
Mike.
right. We could go to a fucking bathhouse, man. No, that's not distilled enough.
It has to be just our bathwater.
Anyway, so our Patreon is the best community on the web. I mean, there's really no way around that. But you don't want to just hear that from me. So why don't I let a patron tell you themselves? So this is from our buddy Luthi here. He says, I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said? I love this community. It's literally a home for a lot of us, and the people here are all great individuals, every single one. I don't really have anybody in my direct environment that shares my love for anime, so it's nice to nerd out about shows we like here. And there is no greater feeling than introducing someone to shows you enjoy, and they enjoy them with you. The viewing parties are always fun, with a lot of silly comments if you like, and a chance to actually watch a classic show you wouldn't soon otherwise, at least in my case. I love that both Tyler and Mike randomly pop in and out for a chat. Makes me feel closer to the faces I see on my screen and the voices I hear through my speakers. We're all just human after all. And finally, through this channel, I met the woman I'm currently in love with, so that's just more bonus points to a great community.
Oh, we're matchmakers without even meaning to.
That's right. Our bonsai babies. I love them. So yeah, definitely give our Patreon a check.
Check out the Patreon. You'll fall in love.
That's true. It's starts at $1 and goes up from there. So we hope to see you there. Anyway, Tyler,
it's really for everyone. We try to make it available to anybody who wants to join.
Exactly. And that's $1 a month, my friends. That is less than a cup of coffee a month, but we got video games to talk about. So let's do that.
Hell yeah, we do, dude.
Okay. So you've been playing the Tony hack.
Let me rattle off what's been going on with me. Right.
Okay.
I was playing Dragon Quest, as we know.
Right.
I talked about that last week. I was loving Dragon Quest. I beat the main storyline. And then there's like this extra storyline that you can go into afterwards. And I kind of fell off during that. It was kind of very repetitive. It felt like you lose like a lot of the levels and then you gain them back like pretty quickly afterwards. But it doesn't feel quite the same as the main game. So I sort of stopped playing that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my my faith run through Dark Souls. So then I did that. And spoiler, don't do a faith run through Dark Souls. In my opinion, of the 3 runs that I've done, which is like just like your regular melee run, sorcery run, and then I did the faith run. I like that one the least. It's like supposed to be, I think, a mix between the faith and melee build, and it just doesn't feel as good, in my opinion.
Right.
And now I'm on to Tony Hawk.
Nice. So the last part of Dragon Quest, like, what is your goal? You have to, if I remember, you have to run back through like everything, kind of.
So spoiler alert.
Well, you don't have to go. You don't have to give. I know what happens. You reverse some things.
Yes.
And then you basically have to run back through every area of the game, right?
Yeah, well, so I haven't gone through like every area, but you definitely have to go through a lot of the same areas. And there's some differences to things, like basically events change and that changes the outcome of things.
Right.
But I don't know how far I've really gotten into it, but it sort of fell off for me when I had to like start running through the same shit that I've already done. Okay. Yeah. So, because it's like the combat is already repetitive.
And you can't speed it up because you're playing on PS4.
And I can't speed it up. And so I kind of just lost interest in it once I had beaten the primary story. And I was like, that was great. I feel completed. And then I started doing the rest of it. I was like, this doesn't feel as good anymore. So I'm going to stop.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to double check with that. Cause like I have that problem with RPGs too. I can't tell you how many times I've started Final Fantasy VII and never finished it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, I can. Like 6 or 7 times I've gotten
That's
like,
a lot of times.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's good all the way through. Like, there's no part of Final Fantasy VII that I've played that I don't like. It's just, it's so long, you know?
Yeah, and it's really hard to play an RPG and then drop it and pick it up again where you left off.
Yeah, unless you have notes.
Yeah, because it's like, then you're like, what's happening? Who are these people in my party? What are the good moves? I don't fucking remember.
Where was I going? You know?
Yeah, like, it's all difficult.
Yeah, and like, I mean, even with Persona 5, like, I got all the way up to the very last boss, and there's this bridge that goes to the last boss, and there's these really fucking tough enemies on it, and there are certain like, at the end of the bridge there's this door, and they're like, are you sure you want to go through this door? If you go through this door, you can't go back. And I'm like, well, I almost lose all my party members going across this fucking bridge. Like, what if there's nowhere to heal beyond this door, and that's the end of the game, and I get stuck in a save lock, you know? And I'm like, and I eventually just put the game down. I didn't beat the final boss. And that was like 2 years ago. So, you know, one of these days I'll play back through Persona 5 and like actually finish it. But at the same time, it's like, I got all the way there. I feel completed, you know, like I know that you beat the boss and saved the day.
That's the thing, right? Is like, when you get that feeling, you don't need to finish the game. You know, you've already gotten the endorphin rush and the experience that you wanted. So then it just sort of feels hollow to keep going.
Yeah. And like, I don't know about you. All right, I've had this discussion with a lot of people. Everybody has different feelings and takes on it. But I feel like if you spend money on a video game, every dollar you spend on the video game should equal out to an hour of experience. Right? Like,
yeah, I can agree with that. I can fuck with that. Yeah.
So if you buy a $60 game, you should get somewhere around 60 hours of fun out of it. And like, you know, or you want to get your value out of the game, basically, right? Because $60 is a lot of fucking money.
It is, yeah.
You know? And like when you buy a movie, right, you get you spend like, you know, maybe $15-$20 depending on the movie, depending on what format. But let's say the average movie costs about $15. You spend $15, you get a guaranteed hour and a half. You know, with video games, you don't necessarily get that. Like I talked about Castlevania on the 3DS before. Like, I bought that game for $40. It's a 7-hour game. If you can speed run it in like an hour, you know,
Yikes.
Like, that game is not worth the money that I paid for it.
Right.
But then there's games like Stardew Valley, right? Which cost what? Like maybe $20?
$20, I think, maybe 15 now.
Yeah. And you can put literally as much time into that as you want.
Yeah, dude, that's how I feel about Dead by Daylight. Like, I bought that game for, I think, $10 when I bought it, because it goes on sale for $10. It's typically 20. Yeah. And I have fucking, I don't know, 800 hours in that game. But also, I feel like you have to take away every hour that you hate yourself from the hours that you have fun. So I'm probably about even there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you know, so
people who play Dead by Daylight are masochists, and I have no intention of hiding that.
Yeah.
We all hate ourselves.
Oh, yeah. That's why I don't play a fucking game. Fuck that.
Dude, did I tell you, like, Bus was talking about moving up to the Super Saiyan Blue tier, and I was like, oh, dude, make it so that the hangout time is Dead by Daylight, so that you have to play it.
Oh, my God. He would do it, too. He would waste that on fucking making me play Dead by Daylight. Anyway, Jesus. Anyway, so did you play Dragon Quest for 60 hours?
Yeah, I did. So I got my money's worth.
You got your money's
worth
out of the game. That's all that matters. Now tell me about Tony Hawk.
Dude, it's like, it's very nostalgic. All the fucking songs, like Real Big Fish is in there and shit, you know? It just feels good to play. I could not for the life of me figure out how to make my own female character. That took a hot minute.
Oh, yeah. The UI is fucking garbage.
Yeah, it's really, really rough.
Really bad. Like, that was the only thing that bummed me out about the game is, like, I streamed it for my first time live, and I was, like, in the menus. I was like, what the fuck is all of this shit? And how do I do it? I played as Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
I was expecting to unlock characters as I went. I didn't know I had an option to choose.
Yeah, there's like a shit ton of characters that you can play as.
Yeah.
I did the same thing because it's so confusing that like the game basically doesn't tell you that you have that option.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, press triangle, but it says it like in like the lower left or something, nowhere near where your cursor is.
Yeah.
It's all super fucking confusing. What I do like though is that in the in the character customization, you can put masks on people.
Yes. Yeah. I laughed
Which is
about
definitely a COVID reference.
So
like that was
funny.
not in the original game.
No, it's very funny. In fact, there's a level in I don't remember which level it was. It might have been San Francisco, but there's a sign in the level that says "Masks save lives."
Oh no way!
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was fucking chuckling at that. Wear a mask, you fucking assholes. Anyway, yeah. So you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but I'm also hating myself playing it because I'm like, God, I fucking suck. Like the amount of times that I'll try like my first move, right, and then try to like do a move off a ramp into a grind into a manual, and then just fail horribly, and then like I can't tell you how many times I press start and then restart run like immediately.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just Tony Hawk. Like, you got 2 minutes, so if you fuck up that 2 minutes, like you gotta restart it again. I played Tony Hawk with the D-pad.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I find it helps a lot with accuracy.
With getting the tricks out. Yeah, because like, dude, trying to hit like the airwalk correctly when it's like back right diagonal.
Yep.
Like sometimes it's like do this gap with the airwalk or the Madonna. And I can't for the life of me remember what the fuck the move, how to get it out.
Yeah, that and like, if you hold it, like you'll start spinning. If and sometimes you don't want to spin. So yeah, I've always played Tony Hawk with the D-pad, even on the GameCube.
I'll try that.
Yeah, I like it a lot. You have to boneless a lot in that game. To get to higher places by pressing up, and then releasing the ollie button. And it's really easy to do with the D-pad. It's just 2 pops instead of having to move the whole fucking thing. In fact, I almost never ollie. I always boneless.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Not gonna lie.
So if you're holding down ollie, like the jump button, and you press up, and then release the jump button, you will do a doubly high ollie.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, it's a trick called a boneless, where it's actually a trick I can actually do on a skateboard.
Oh fuck.
Where you grab the board with your backhand on the front side. Yep. And then you put down your front foot on the back side on the ground, and then jump off so I'm goofy foot, right? So
you get yourself extra air basically.
Yeah. So it's like
you're literally using your foot to push off the ground.
Yeah, you're jumping with your foot. So think about it like you can jump over a pole by pulling your knees up to your chest, or you can jump over a pole by swinging your legs out to the side. Right. So a boneless is like swinging your legs out to the side. So
and that works off of ramps and shit
works
too?
Off of everything in the game. Except for rails.
Except for rails. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I've been having a great time playing it. You're right, the UI is absolute anus.
Such trash.
Yeah, it's complete garbage, but it doesn't make the game any less fun.
Right.
I think I'm in the second meet.
Oh, like the competition?
Like the second competition, yeah, which takes place in Portland, by the way.
Oh yeah, Burnside.
Yeah. Which is cool. I was playing it with my girlfriend while she was like hanging out on her phone, and I was like, by the way, I'm in Portland right now.
And she looks up, she's like, cool.
yeah, pretty much. She was like, oh, that's neat, and then went back to what she was doing. Yeah. I was like, thanks for loving me.
Yeah. It's like my life in a nutshell.
I know. This is what happens when you're in long-term relationships is you go, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Today I got so yesterday I was doing a vinyl stream with the patrons, and what did we listen to? We listened to a bunch of stuff. We listened to my Castlevania soundtracks, Symphony of the Night and Castlevania 1. We listened to Tokyo Ska Orchestra. What what is the full name of that band? I really fucking love them, but it's Tokyo Ska. Yeah, Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra. Is the name of the band, and it's a Japanese ska band. They're really fucking good, and they put out all of their music on vinyl. So I got a couple of those. We listened to them. We listened to Post Malone, which I have on vinyl because I am a failure as a human being, but I don't know what to say. I really like the album Hollywood's Bleeding. It's a really good album. It's really good. Post Malone is a musical chameleon, and I don't know, man. That one really got me. You should check that album out, dude. Like, if you have it on a streaming service, it's a very scathing look at Hollywood. It's interesting. He has this one ballad on it, which I believe is called "I Don't Go on the Internet No Mo."
It's a great name.
Yeah, and it's just about how he doesn't go on the internet. He doesn't follow politics. He's like, if ignorance is bliss, don't wake me up. And if it is, I'm probably the last to know because I don't go on the internet no mo.
That's fucking great, dude.
Yeah, it's a good album. And I just find that guy endlessly fucking fascinating. He looks like a terrifying like homeless man. But lives in like a multi-million-dollar mansion and listens to fucking like My Chemical Romance and Fall Out Boy all day. And
he honestly seems like a cool dude, you know?
Yeah. You know, he made his fucking millions. Like, he did the right thing at the right time, right music. My only issue with him is that he does a lot of collaborative songs, and I feel like a lot of the people that he collaborates with ruin his songs. Which sucks. He did one, Sunflower is really good. That's a really good collab with another artist. And he has one on the B-sides, with a girl that I really liked a lot. But other than that, it's like I could take it or leave it, you know, if somebody pops in. Cause I don't like this fucking, like, I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna sound like an ignorant prick here, but like, I don't like this modern hip hop shit where people are like, I'ma got a bow solo, I'ma got a flow YOLO, I'm a sort of I'm a photo foe. It's like that's not even rapping, and everybody's got the same. It's a bada bada ba ba
Bada
bada bada ba ba or bada, you know. And it's like it's like back in the day, hip hop used to be about the flow, and everything that you said, you had to fucking say it in the right time, and you had to have a little bit of emphasis behind it. You know what I mean? You know, it used to be this cool, like, really awesome thing, and like this, there's just like this wave happened like maybe 5 years ago.
It got mainstream, man. It got mainstreamed.
It just, you know? It's like, it's not even hip hop. It's like a different genre. I don't know what to call it. It's like internet rap or some shit. Like, it's very
just
strange.
call it beat bop.
Yeah. Did you say neat? Did you say neat bop?
No, beep bop.
Beep bop?
Beep bop, like a robot.
Yeah. It's weird.
Because they're all the same.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion. It's probably because I'm like a fucking old fart on the inside. And I can't handle when things are new. But whatever.
Dude, it's okay. They know this. We did a video on Wicked City.
That's true.
Like, they know.
Yeah. But yeah, so the reason I brought up the vinyl is because today I was having a really bad static problem yesterday with my vinyls, and my slip mat kept sticking to the bottom of my vinyls when I was picking them up to change them. Slip mat's just the thing you put on the turntable to put the record on. They're usually made out of felt. So I went online, I was doing some research because this is like my new hobby. So I'm learning everything that I possibly can about it. I spent like literally actually 6 hours with a level, protractor, like something that you would actually like weigh pot on, and like a couple other things to completely balance out my turntable and like straighten out my needle and all the stuff to make it.
Yeah, Mike and I share like the Bonsai Pop YouTube account, right? So we get the same recommendations, and like all of our recommendations now are just vinyl videos.
Like how
I'm just like, Mike's doing some fucking work on his vinyl. I can tell.
Yep.
Like on his turntable.
So today I got a new slip mat, or yesterday I picked up a new slip mat. I found one that's made out of rubber and cork. So what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to like deepen the lows, get rid of some of the static, And, I got this one that's an interesting shape that kind of creates a little bit of space between the mat and the vinyl to lower resonance. And I got it in. I was telling Devin about it, and she was like, cool.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
That's cool. I'm like, yeah, and just went back to watching Nurse Jackie.
I feel like sometimes you can tell how much somebody loves you by how much they ignore you.
Yeah. Devin must love me a lot.
Yeah. Like I make a lot of like really dumb Jew jokes.
Yeah.
At Amy because like we'll be talking about something and I'll be like, well, that's because the Jewish people did this, and I'll just be making it up.
Right.
It'll be completely wrong. And she used to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And like laugh and shit or like argue with me. And now she just ignores me. She's just like, I've heard it. I've heard all of your bullshit. And I know like I have a filter for it now and I don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yep. And if you ever end up with some kind of a family, that'll be the shit that she tells everybody about. She'll be like, yeah, Tyler's always fucking telling his Jew jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'll be like, I'll explain how the Jews created garlic bread, It'll be stuff like that.
To keep away the vampires.
Well, yeah, no, I'll be like, well, you know what the vampires are, right? That started in the Spanish Inquisition. The vampires were actually the people that were hunting the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Like, I'll talk and say shit like vampire was actually a code in Jewish communities, and garlic bread was the code word to get out, stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah. But so I also got Tony Hawk, like we were talking about. Now, like, did you play Tony Hawk a lot as a kid?
I owned at least one of the games. I think I owned Tony Hawk 3, maybe 4.
Okay, 3 was the one that started in a
I can tell you exactly which one I owned.
Okay.
It was the one that had Boba Fett in it.
What system did you play it on? PS2?
Probably GameCube.
GameCube?
Probably GameCube.
Shit, I don't remember
the
playing
only ones
Boba Fett.
The only ones that I owned, the only systems that I owned, were like the old Nintendo systems. I owned a PS2 for a very short amount of time, so I don't think it was that. And I'm pretty sure it was a small disc like the GameCube had.
Okay, well that would only be the GameCube then.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think about what the disc looked like, and I'm pretty sure it was like one of those mini discs.
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if it was Boba Fett. It might have been Jango Fett.
Oh, it might have been Jango Fett.
I think that was Tony Hawk 4. Did it have AC/DC in the soundtrack?
Dude, that's not going to help either.
Okay. Was there a zoo level?
Yes.
That was Tony Hawk 4.
There you go. Yeah. So I own Tony Hawk 4.
Tony Hawk 4 is pretty good.
It was great, man. Like trying to like feed the animals in the zoo level or whatever. Yeah, and I think there were like actual people with quests.
Couldn't you?
You could like go find.
Yeah. That was Tony Hawk 4. Couldn't you sketch on the elephant's tail?
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yes, you absolutely could.
Yeah.
And you had to like dodge its shit or something while you were doing it.
Yeah. So for me, I got like I was a Nintendo kid. My parents would only buy Nintendo consoles, because all the bad kids had Sega and PlayStation.
Right.
So,
yes. Those horrible companies.
Yeah. The companies with all those anime titties. But yeah, so I had the N64, and I was really, really big into skateboarding. My uncle and I would go skateboarding all the time. So when Tony Hawk came out, it was like a big deal, So I got it on the N64. And the funny thing about the N64 is that those cartridges couldn't hold music very well. Like a disc on a PlayStation could hold like 3 times as much data as a cartridge on an N64. So in the N64 versions, it didn't play the whole song. It would play parts of a song, right? And then repeat them. So you'd have that Goldfinger song to like, so here I am, doing everything I can, holding on to what I am, pretending I'm a Superman, and then it would do the first verse, and then it would go back to the and then do the whole thing, like, here I am, doing everything I can. So, like, it was, I didn't even know that this, like, the songs in the game weren't the way they actually sounded on the records and stuff. So when I got the records, I was like, what? But yeah, I played Tony Hawk 1 on the N64. I completely completed that game. Got Officer Dick like when I was a kid. I mean, you couldn't even manual in that one, dude. Like when it first came out, there's no manuals. There was no reverts. It was just like, there was no combos like that. Like the best combo you could do is like a 2 kickflips and a grab in the air.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's not great. You can see what it's like. You can actually turn on Tony Hawk 1 controls in the new game and play Tony Hawk 1.
I saw that. What I remember about 4 that I fucking loved was I think that there was a cheat code for it, but it was like trippy lights or something.
Yep, disco mode.
Disco mode. Yeah. So the higher your combo get, the crazier the lights got, and everything. If you got high enough, like if you put on like perfect manual and like moon gravity and all that shit, right? It would just look trippy as shit, and it was the best.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's like I really went ham on those games when I was a kid, all the way up to Underground 2. So I had and completed, like full on completed, like the completion is complete, like got every gap in the game.
So you like really fucking played that shit.
Oh yeah, dude. And it was also like, it was like my phone game. So back when Tyler and I were kids, you talked on the phone, like, and not on your cell phone. Like the home phone.
Yeah, like the landline.
And that's what you know, if you weren't hanging out with your friends after school, that's what you did. So, you know, I would sit on the phone for like 5 hours and just run these lines in Tony Hawk games, like these like infinite combo lines with no no cheats on or anything like that. Full stats, obviously, but like it got to the point where I just like, I know the balance meters perfectly. Yeah, so it's like and I'm no pro, but I'm pretty good. Like I went on to the ranked after I beat the game, the new game that came out, and I got 257th place on one level, and like 175th place on another level.
Yeah, like that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, out of however many million people,
out of a lot of fucking people. Yeah,
yeah. Like my first runs, I was so for the instance, you've done the mall, right? Yeah. Okay, so the mall. That was the one that I got a really high score on. And I managed to pull a consecutive combo all the way from the beginning to the end of the mall.
Oh my God, you're way better than me. Holy shit.
Yeah, like, but it's just muscle memory, dude. Like I just I would literally, I probably put like 1,000 plus, I mean, across all of the games, I probably put in like a couple thousand hours.
That's still fucking crazy.
Those games.
See, the funny thing was that like, so I'm from San Diego, right? So like, I got Tony Hawk, and then I went on to Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer.
I know I've never played that game. Like, how is it?
It's great, dude.
Yeah,
it's so fun. Yeah, I mean, it's Tony Hawk, but it's on waves, and like each wave is different than the other ones. Like they're different sizes. They go in different directions. Some of them you can get tubed in, and some of them you can't. Like you can get barreled.
Right.
And like some of the levels are fucking crazy. Like most of the levels are actual places. You can go to Hawaii, and you can go to like Cardiff, I think, or something like that, or Carlsbad, and you can go surfing in Australia, like all these actual places. Yeah. You can go to like Bondi Beach, I think, and stuff like that. And then there's like a couple levels that are like, one's like an ancient level where you're like surfing on lava, and there's like a volcano in the distance, and one of them is like a galaxy level where when you wipe out into the surf and the earth is underneath you.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was sick. Like it definitely, it wasn't as good as Tony Hawk, but it was still pretty fucking cool.
Was it made by Neversoft like Tony Hawk was?
I would have to look.
Because Neversoft like was just a fucking sick company, and they loved those games. They loved making those games, dude, and they did a really good job. Like they pioneered the entire skate video game genre and made it.
I mean, it works really well.
Yeah, and it's like, did you ever play Skate?
No, I didn't.
Skate is fucking awesome, dude. Like
I've heard that Skate's like amazing.
Skate is really fucking awesome. They've never been able to replicate that. But like, Tony Hawk has that arcade feel, has that old school arcadey game feel. Like, and it's really awesome. I love it. But it's funny that you said that, you know, you're from San Diego, so you picked up the pro. I'm from New England, so I picked up Shaun White's pro snowboarder.
Shaun White's pro snowboarder.
Yeah.
You know, Shaun White is from San Diego.
Or maybe it was Sean Palmer's pro snowboarder. I don't remember. Well, you know, Tony Hawk is from San Diego, right?
I do, yeah. We have all the famous people. Yeah, actually, the funny thing about Shaun White, so I have family friends where their kid was best friends with Shaun White. Like,
Really?
he was, like, best friends with him. So I actually have some Shaun White stories. I haven't met him, but, like, I know, for example, whenever he was in the Olympics, it always says Shaun White of Carlsbad. He never lived in Carlsbad.
Hey, it's just cool to be from Carlsbad.
No. His high school wouldn't let him do extracurriculars for snowboarding, so he transferred schools to Carlsbad because they would.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Well, there's good skate parks in Carlsbad, isn't there?
Yeah, that too. I mean, he also skateboards.
He was a pro skateboarder first.
Yeah,
When he
I believe
was-
so. I think that's right.
Yeah, no, he was. When he was a kid, I think he was
Yeah.
like 8 or 9. He got to skate. He was like already sponsored. He got to skate with Bob Burnquist, and they were skating like a 15-foot half pipe together. They were doing like double skate or double pipe together, and they
That's cool.
collided.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, in the middle of the pipe. They both came down at the same spot and they hit each other, and Shaun White broke like every bone in his body.
Jeez.
Because, I mean, Bob Burnquist is a big guy, you know? And like,
Yeah, and he was a kid.
yeah.
You know?
So not only was Bob Burnquist going faster, but he had lots more velocity and fucking mass. So he just crushed Shaun White. Like, yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah. I've seen the video of it, dude. It's fucking nuts. Yeah, that kid was like a prodigy. But his snowboarding game
He
was
still
really
was,
fun.
like...
Oh yeah, he's Olympic medalist, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think multiple. Like Shaun White was what snowboarding was for Tony Hawk, you know?
Yeah.
Or what skateboarding was for Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
You know, he invented new moves and was just the best in the world, you know, like hands down.
Did you notice that Tony Hawk's kid is in the game?
I haven't noticed that yet.
Yeah,
No.
Riley Hawk. You can play Riley Hawk.
That's awesome.
It's so weird, dude, because I remember when Riley was like a fucking kid. Like a little kid. I think he's our age, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Or maybe even younger. And like he has like a mustache and like long hippie hair in the game. It's so weird. He used to be like
That
this
is
cute
weird.
little kid. Nutso. Anyway.
Yeah, that's super crazy.
Yeah,
Anyway, man.
we didn't put out any questions this time.
No,
So-
it's fine. We've already been going over time.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I would like to thank our very special patron of the week, who is the Sasquatch.
Such a good name. I remember when they came into the Discord.
Sasquatch, thank you so much for being our patron. You are fucking awesome, and you have a hilarious name. I would like to thank our very special Super Saiyan God of the Week, who is Yamcha Kapoor. Yamcha is our patron, and that's awesome.
One of our longest running patrons, too.
That's very
Been around
true.
forever, dude.
Yes, and they are God, except when it comes to Cybermen and all the other things that killed Yamcha over the years. And I want to shout out our high tier patrons, Kit Bash J, the Great Omnibus, Calamity Cookie, Alpha Sigma. And is there another one that I'm missing that isn't on Discord right now?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that's
Raining
everybody.
Eckham.
Raining Eckham. Yeah, they just went up. Yeah.
Fucking, you're all crazy bastards. I'm just letting you guys know that. You are
Yeah.
all
Holy fuck, guys.
crazy, beautiful, amazing bastards. And I love you guys. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you guys so much.
So, listen up, everyone, because Tyler has some important information that he's probably going to fuck up.
Whoa. What are you talking about? I have never messed this up. Not once.
So, Tyler,
Yeah.
where can the delightful listeners find us on Twitter.com?
That's at bonsai_pop.
Where can they find us on twitch.tv?
Twitch.tv/bonsai_pop.
Where can they find us on YouTube?
Yes. YouTube.com/bonsaipop.
Where can they find us on Instagram?
At bonsai_pop.
Where can they find us to send us a Gmail?
Bonsaipopteam at gmail.com. Yes.
And how can they join our lovely Patreon?
Patreon.com/bonsaipop.
Yeah! All right, everybody. Tyler did it. First
yeah.
time. First time.
Every time I've done it the first time.
And I even threw him curveballs. I fucked him up. So
yeah,
I do
you
it in a
changed the
specific
fucking
order.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Instagram didn't come after Twitter, I was like, fuck.
Nobody's memorizing my test. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed yourself as much as we did, and we will be back soon. We have a couple bonus pops lined up. We are looking at sitting down with Beta 64 and a special surprise guest after him that I think you guys will be very excited about.
And next week, you get to find out whether or not my home was destroyed.
True that.
Ah.
And
Fuck me, right?
Let's all wish Tyler luck and safety.
Join the Patreon. You'll know sooner.
Yes. May Kami-sama be with you, my friend.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.